On today's show, we explore the villains in your life, from fear and self-doubt to the stories that have been holding you back, and how to stop playing small, take back control of the script, and start defeating them, one bold move at a time. So grab your popcorn, get comfy, and silence your inner critic or villain, because it's time to movify your life. Welcome to the Movify Your Life show, the plot twist you've been waiting for. I'm your host, Jessica Grace Coleman, and through the Movify Your Life method, I'll show you how to step into the starring role of your story and create a life worth watching. Every Movify Monday, you'll learn how to turn everyday moments into unforgettable memories, activate your main character energy, and use cinematic tools to boldly chase your biggest dreams, like the movie star you truly are. Because when the credits roll, I want you to look back at your life like it's the greatest film ever made, full of meaning, magic, and most importantly, zero regrets. And because I truly believe everyone deserves to live an epic life fit for the big screen. So grab your popcorn, cue the music, and together, let's movify your life. Hello, and welcome to the Movify Your Life show. I am your host, Jessica Grace Coleman, and today we are talking all about the villains in our lives and how to defeat them. I just want to point out this is episode number 199. A lot of the episodes in this podcast happened when it was the Travel Transformation podcast, but I continued it because when I turned it into the Movify Your Life show, a lot of the same themes applied. Travel, transformation, magical movie moments were stuff I already talked about, and using inspiration from films and TV shows to create more epic travels and more epic lives. So I kept the same feed and I'm at 199 episodes. So next week will be the big 200. So make sure you tune into that because I may just do a giveaway, a magical movie moment style giveaway. Now, I'm cat sitting at the moment for a friend and the cat is, just jumped onto my lap. Okay. You know you're the chosen one when a cat chooses to sit on your lap. So if you hear purring or a jingly bell, it is my little cat friend. And, the purring would just give a bit of ambience to the podcast episode, wouldn't it? But, I've been here a few days and it's only today that she has started sitting on my lap. So I feel very blessed and chosen that she has said I'm good enough to sit on my lap, basically. And her tail is currently on the mic. Hopefully you can still hear this okay. I'm sure she'll settle down in a minute and her tail will not be all over the microphone, but let me move this away a little bit. Okay, so we're talking about the villains in our life. And if you know anything about Movify Your Life, you'll know that it's all about looking at your life like a movie. It's also about using inspiration from the movies, magic of the movies, for your own life to create an epic movie-worthy life and all that good stuff. And I mean, we all have, every movie basically has some kind of villain in, because a movie without conflict is boring. So it's part of, most movie structures and TV shows as well, and books and all the good stuff, all the fiction stuff. Okay, Kitty is probably purring now. I don't know if you can hear it. But just as every movie has some kind of villain, every life also has some kind of villain, and usually way more than one. And this doesn't have to be a person, like villains often are in the movies. If you think of obvious superhero films and stuff, there's always like an actual villain person who looks very evil and acts very evil and is very evil. Oh, the cat is now rubbing her head against the microphone. So if you heard a weird noise, that's what it was. But yes, so it may be an actual person in your life, but more often than not, it's a concept or a belief, like a limiting belief that's been holding you back. And we can have different villains for different seasons in our life, a different villain every year, a different villain every generation, or like I say, multiple villains that have been plaguing you your entire life and holding you back from going after your dreams and achieving all awesome things, which is what Movify Your Life is all about. So let me just move my microphone a little bit. So I'm going to talk about some of my main villains and how I defeated them, and then also give you a list of other common villains, I would say, in people's lives. And it's just looking at your life in a different perspective. So if there's something holding you back or something scary, something you don't want to do because it's scary, something that is has been plaguing you, like a fear, a limiting belief your whole life. It's looking at it from a different lens and thinking, hey, if this was a movie and I was the main character, what would that main character do? Would it let this fear, a limiting belief, villain plague them their entire life? No, they would stop it at some point. They would address it, they would be aware of it, and they would defeat it so that they can go on to achieve their big goals. Okay, so I've put my number one villain for most of my life. I would probably say all of my life, apart from the last few years when I've been actively working to overcome it, is shyness. And sort of along with that, the fear of being seen, like fear of being center of attention. So I've talked about this a lot on the podcast. I was a ridiculously shy child, very quiet, very introverted, but like a really shy introvert. I hated attention. I hated doing presentations at school. I hated people looking at me. I would feel like fear of judgment, all that good stuff. It wasn't just at school, like it followed me into university, jobs. It held me back from opportunities. It held me back from doing things I actually wanted to do, like putting myself out there for my business, all that stuff. And it got to the point where I was like, I have to do something about this. Otherwise, I'm never going to achieve all the big things I know I could achieve if I just slayed this villain. So I felt the fear and did it anyway. I put myself out there. I started trying to overcome this villain and this, I would say it sort of goes into fear of public speaking as well, because that involves people staring at you and being the center of attention. And I just hated any form of public speaking. So I made myself speak more. At university, I made sure I raised my hand and spoke in the first class of every new class I had to sort of get it over with, really, but just to show myself that I could do it. And then I started going to co-living houses where they do personal development workshops, business workshops, that kind of stuff, and running workshops myself. Forced myself to do it, even though I was terrified. But I knew that I had to do this kind of stuff to defeat this villain of shyness, fear of being seen, fear of public speaking. Once I started doing these things, I then had evidence that I could actually handle it. I could do it. Evidence that I was working on it. And now I have evidence that I'm not that person anymore because of all the amazing things I've done since. And having my own podcast, I think, is part of that. Even though it's just me talking to a computer, in the past I've done lots of interviews and things like that. When I was a teenager, I interviewed bands and things, even though I was terrified. I just did things I was scared to do because I knew it was the only way to overcome that villain of shyness and fear of being seen. So, and I think a key takeaway here is that I didn't defeat this villain in one big moment. Like, it was repeated acts of feeling the fear and doing it anyway, repeated moments where I put myself out there, ran a workshop here, read out a poem to a big group there, did a speech at a wedding, did a speech at family events. It was like one thing building on another, and that gave me evidence that I had slayed this villain. I still have to slay it occasionally now. Like, it's not completely gone. It's sort of lurking in the shadows, but it's no longer the main villain in my life. So this is what we're aiming for. Villain number 2, this kind of fueled or came out of villain number 1. It's sort of it's linked, it's connected. It was a more general lack of self-confidence, lack of belief in myself that I could do tough things alone. So this can manifest in like relying on others or not wanting to do stuff if you have to go alone, not wanting to do solo stuff. And the way I defeated this was through solo travel. Because once you've traveled around the world on your own, not knowing anyone, not knowing the language, not having anyone else to rely on, you feel like you can pretty much do anything. So that's what I started doing. I've solo traveled in several countries, in the States, in Thailand, in Spain, in France, to certain degrees in other countries. But a lot of the time it started off as solo, and then I met people and became friends, and then I wasn't solo anymore, all over the UK. I love solo travel. I love traveling with other people as well. Like it's nice to have friends and things like that to travel with. But if you want to go somewhere and you've got no one to go with, then just go yourself. I know it's not that easy, but once you do it one time, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've never done this before. It's amazing. I can do what I want. I can go where I want. I don't have to, do what anyone else wants to do. It's very freeing. And like I say, it boosts your confidence no end. So it shows you that you're capable of looking after yourself, but like also capable of navigating the world, making decisions, handling things when they go wrong. And if you can do that when you're solo traveling, similar things that happen at home when you're with other people, they don't seem as big or scary anymore. You can handle it. And that was another way of sort of building evidence. And it's like confidence isn't something you wait for. Confidence is something you get through action and through building evidence that you can do these things.
Okay, movie star, real talk.
Are you tired of feeling like a background extra in your own life? Then it's time to step into the spotlight and activate your main character era. And I've got just the thing to help you do it. Grab my free Movie Star Alter Ego Starter Kit, your behind-the-scenes pass to creating the bold, brave, action-taking version of you who goes after their dreams like the star of a blockbuster. Inside, you'll discover how to design your alter ego, choose your transformational item, pick your theme song, and build the rituals and confidence cues you need to start living your life like the epic movie it was meant to be. So, if you're ready to rewrite your script, roll camera, and finally take the lead, head to movifyyourlife.com/free to download your free starter kit now. That's movifyyourlife.com/free. Your next scene starts today. And now, let's get back to the action. Okay, number 3 is fear of judgment and caring what people think too much. And again, this sort of relates to the other two. Your villains may well feed into each other or connect or link in many, many ways. So fear of judgment is one of the reasons I hated standing up and being the center of attention and doing presentations and all that stuff, especially when you're in school and you get judged on like what, the length of your trousers or the length of your tie, how you wear your tie or what coat you've got or what bag you've got. It's like ridiculous, the stuff you get judged for at high school. I'm sure it's even worse now with social media and stuff like that. So this very much connects to number 1 and number 2. But caring what people think can really hold you back from doing stuff. And I had this in spades until I went and filmed my Movify Your Life movie-mentary, which is where the whole Movify Your Life brand started. It's a feature-length film I filmed on my iPhone in 2024. It's available to watch for free on YouTube right now. You can head to the link in the show notes to go and watch it. And this was a whole experiment, basically, in putting myself out there, being silly in public, not caring what people think, and embracing the cringe. I think we all need to learn to embrace the cringe, learn to laugh at ourselves, not take life or ourselves too seriously, because when you stop doing that, so many of your fears just drop away and you just don't care what people think and you just go and get on with whatever you want to do, what other dreams you have, whatever goals you want to achieve. And I have a feeling this is very huge and universal, and even the most outgoing extroverts can have issues with this. Like if you have a business and you need to put yourself out there online, need to be on social media, your face needs to be there, and you have to embrace the cringe, basically not care what people think and not care about all the weird, hateful maybe comments you get. So filming in public in quite some interesting outfits at times. My sidekicks in the film were a small cardboard cutout of Pedro Pascal called Pocket Pascal and a sparkly disco strawberry with googly eyes and a moustache. So that tells you the level of silliness, like a proper serious message to the film as well. And some bits are very sad because of things that happened to me in my life during that year. But a lot of it was just an exercise in being cringe and not caring what you think. And I did a whole filming day in the Cotswolds. It was like the hottest day of the year. So everyone was out there, loads of tourists, all the locals, even the local schools were having their lessons outside. So like literally everyone was there. And I was wearing this ridiculous outfit and walking around with Pocket Pascal and the strawberry. And it was a whole thing. Oh, the strawberry's called the Red Baron, by the way. But you soon get used to it. At the start, I felt very self-conscious. People were pointing, laughing. It was like a lot. But by the end of it, you don't care. And another time, my friend Susie and I dressed up as police women in Wells in Somerset. We were doing a Hot Fuzz kind of spoof skit. And so many people were staring at us. Some people asked if we were on a hen do. We did the whole thing where my brother was filming us and he was running around in circles, filming us in a sort of like cinematic way. And it was like a lot of people were staring. And to start with, we were like pretty embarrassed. And I felt so bad for like roping my friend into this. But after a while, we just didn't care. Like, you just get through that. You don't care who's watching. You know, some people are having a great time watching you because it's like something unusual, something to brighten their day. And you just get on with it. And you sort of go from, oh God, what are they thinking about me, to, hey, they're probably thinking like, that person is having a lot of fun and they're just living life and having a great time. And that's what I should be doing. And if you're sort of spreading joy to people, even if they're laughing at you, you've made them laugh. You've given them something joyful to laugh about. And the key takeaway, I think, is that most people aren't thinking about you anywhere near as much as you think they are. They're probably too worried about themselves. And if they are thinking stuff about you, then it says more about them than about you. Maybe they're thinking, oh, I wish I could be that free and not care what people think. Or I wish I was having that much fun. I wish I had a policewoman outfit on right now. So yeah, that was the way I slayed my villain number 3, fear of judgment, caring what people think. I just went out there and was completely silly. And I'm still doing that now on my Instagram. I'm posting silly reels every day. You can follow me at Movify Your Life on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook. And it's just all about embracing the cringe, because when you don't care what people think, you can do so much more in life. It really is. It might seem like a silly villain to have, but it can control so much of your life. So it's definitely one worth defeating if you can. So I want to give you a few other ideas if you're sort of trying to think what your own villains are. So, and some of these are mine as well to a lesser extent. So procrastination is definitely a villain. If you're avoiding something, you usually procrastinate because you're avoiding the thing you need to do or you know you need to do. And linked to that is perfectionism, which is just another form of procrastination. You can spend hours faffing around trying to get something perfect when perfect doesn't exist, and you never actually get around to doing the big thing you need to do. There's the I'll start when syndrome. I'll start my diet tomorrow. I'll start this business next month when it's not quite so crazy. I'll start that side hustle next year. It's putting things off, kicking the can down the road, and it's another form of like procrastination and avoidance. Comparisonitis, especially via things like social media, can definitely be villains if you're used to doom scrolling and you compare yourself to all these successful, lovely, beautiful people traveling around the world or doing whatever it is you want to do, having their own business, making loads of money. The comparisonitis is definitely a huge villain. Fear, of course, is a huge villain, and it comes in many, many forms. And also most of your villains that you list will have fear in there somewhere. But it could be something like fear of judgment, like I had. Fear of failure is a big one. Fear of success can be an even bigger one. And this is a very sneaky one, because you may think, oh, of course I don't have a fear of success. I want to be successful. But perhaps you are planning on creating a new business or creating a new offer or something. And you're used to things failing. Yeah, that's fine. That means I'm learning. We have to fail in life. It's all good. But what if you succeed? What if your business succeeds? Then you have a team to look after. You have more responsibilities. You have way bigger cash flow problems. You have bigger, different problems. Maybe you're launching something in your business and you secretly hope it will fail, because if it goes well and you get 100 people sign up, then you have to actually deliver on the thing you promised. And that's scary. So fear of success is definitely a huge villain, and it might be one we're not even aware of. So it's worth thinking about that. Overthinking is definitely a villain. I have that in my life. Absolutely. Also, analysis paralysis is linked to that. I'm just going to reel off the rest because I'll be here forever otherwise. People pleasing, definitely have that. Playing small, definitely a villain. Saying yes to everything and having a lack of boundaries. Waiting for permission to do something instead of giving yourself permission. Imposter syndrome. Comfort zone addiction. I definitely had that in the past. It's way easier to be in the familiar comfort zone than it is to step outside there and go after the unknown. Negative self-talk. Burnout. Overworking. Definitely get that. Distraction. Like numbing out by doom scrolling or binge watching TV shows when you should be working, all that stuff. Staying in the background character role instead of stepping into the spotlight, definite villain. Letting past versions of yourself to define your current choices is also a villain. External validation addiction. So very similar to people pleasing, but maybe you don't step forward with any of your goals unless you're getting external validation instead of giving yourself that validation. Lack of clarity can also be a villain and an excuse. I mean, there's loads. I'm sure you can come up with so many villains in your life. And then when you do have your list, just think, what would a main character in a movie do to overcome this villain? And if you have a favorite fictional character, and if you've gone through the movie star alter ego exercise that I teach in my free guide, which you can get at movifyyourlife.com/free. The link is in the show notes. You can sign up to my main character memo mailing list and get that guide. You can always ask, what would my alter ego do in this situation? And if you've based it on a fictional character who is bold, brave, all that good stuff, you will know inherently what you should do. And I could go into detail about every single fear and every single villain, but I think it all comes down to feel the fear and do it anyway. If you're scared of doing something, do it. It's the only way you're going to get around it. I know it's scary. That's the whole point. But avoiding things, putting things off, ignoring them, the villains aren't going to go away. You have to face it. You have to be brave. You have to be bold. You have to feel the fear, do it anyway. and start slaying those villains so you can go and become the epic hero, main character you're always meant to be. And I just want to end with just a little nod to someone, if you do have a villain in your life who is an actual person. I don't at the moment, but I'm sure I have in the past, like teachers who've really rubbed me up the wrong way, who I hated, who put me down and made me feel small. I'm sure you've had, authority figures who have made you feel like crap, and they could be villains in your life. Or it could be someone in your family. It could be a friend who's more like a frenemy, someone who drains your energy and puts you down or isn't supportive or just is so negative about the world and you can't handle being around them. Maybe you have that kind of villain in your life. And there are several approaches to this. If you can, if it's appropriate, like if you don't need them in your life, if they're not linked to you in other ways, cut them out. It sounds harsh, but if they're dragging you down, if they're pure villain energy and they don't have any redeeming features, cut them out. If you do have to have them in your life, maybe they're family members, maybe they are linked to your kids, or, you have responsibilities with them and you can't cut them out, then just reduce exposure, set boundaries, and if you can, try to sort of emotionally detach from them. Just think of them like, yep, they're a villain in my story. I have to have them in my life, but it doesn't mean I have to give them all my time and energy. And it could be something as simple as stop caring about what they think, stop seeking their approval, because not everyone deserves a starring role in your life. Some people are extras and they can stay in the background. And some are villains who need to be slain. Not literally, just want to put that out there. Metaphorically slain. And they may not disappear forever. They may keep coming back. Or your other villains may keep coming back in different forms, like different fears. But as long as you keep feeling the fear and doing it anyway, keep confronting them and building up that list of evidence that you can slay your demons, your villains, defeat your villains, then you'll be on your way to becoming the epic main character of the movie of your life and going on to achieve all your awesome dreams. So I hope this has helped. If you know someone who has a big villain in their life, please share this podcast episode with them. And until next Movify Monday, I will see you on the red carpet. Thank you so much for listening to the Movify Your Life show. Before you go, don't forget to sign up for the main character memo mailing list at movifyyourlife.com/list for exclusive tips, treats, and behind-the-scenes magic. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate it if you could please subscribe, leave a review, or share this podcast with a friend. Let's spread that Movify message far and wide, because everyone deserves to live an epic life fit for the big screen. I'll see you next week for another Movify Monday. Until then, that's a wrap.